Hi, this is Phil Hartman with PH Fabrication and Horton Race Cars. Just wanted to give you guys a weekly shop update. So it's been a busy week here at the shop. We've been spending a lot of time working on the Land Speed car, getting projects knocked out on it. So as you can see, the chromoly head shields are all in place now, and those are all finished up. You can see the top section is welded in, and the bottom section is bolted in, and that's done on purpose. The bolt-in section is made to be removed if they got into an accident. Safety Safari could take it off and cut the cage off with the Jaws of Life. This also gives us the option, if the safety team doesn't want to deal with the bolts, we can still cut a 3-inch gap across the bottom. This will be plenty of room for their Jaws of Life to get in there, and it still gives the driver some protection around the lower part of his head and neck area. Now you can also see the seat is out, and we have the seat out so we could put the seatbelt tabs in. Now those are 3/16 plate with a 1/2-inch hole, and they're double shear, which is what is mandated for seatbelt tabs. Now you have different options on the seatbelts. You can either do the wraparound or the bolt-in. It's just personal preference. We just prefer to go with the bolt-in. Most of the funny cars and Top Fuel cars are bolted in now. Also behind the driver, we've been working on the rear bulkhead, actually just adding some plates to the rear bulkhead. And this is just to kind of conceal the tank a little bit better, keep a little bit more protection for the fuel tank. Now this is a diesel powered car, so it'll just have diesel in it, which isn't as flammable, but you still want to keep that fuel tank protected. Now we have the exhaust bolted into place, and this was just to get us an idea on a few things. One, when we set the rear fin on, we needed to figure out where the exhaust needed to come out. Now this exhaust tube is pretty long for where it's going to come out. We're actually probably going to cut it right back here and then do a Y pipe, and this way it'll put the exhaust out on each side of the rear fin. The other reason we had the exhaust tube in is we're going to run a bar that's going to connect here, go all the way to the back of the roll cage, and this bar will go over the top of the motor, follow the body line, and this will give us one support for the body, and it also give us a place to Zeus the body to when we split it down the middle, and I'll go over that a little bit later in the video. Now on the tail section, I've been busy working on the rear fins. Now these rear fins are made out of chromoly with a welded flange. You can see the flange. And then on the inside, I made a bracket or support for the fins to mount to, and this way it gives the fins a lot of support and not just depending on the fiberglass. Now the fiberglass is plenty strong, but this aluminum definitely gives it a lot more surface area to try to pull through if it did try to come loose. Also, on the chute tubes, you can see that we finally got our chute releases in and mounted. Now they're just made out of a Kevlar material. And DJ does a really nice job by sending us not only the chute releases, but they also send us the mechanism, which is very, very nice. I think it's pretty simple, but nicely done. Now our chute cables will come up and go through there instead of using the welding wire, but this way it just holds it into place. We got both of those mounted, and we've been working on getting the chute cables mounted, and along with some guides to guide the cable all the way down the chute tubes to be able to release. Now the shop has been a little bit of a mess, and that's just because when you're working on these bigger projects, they take up a lot of room and a lot of parts and pieces go with it. So also this week, we were able to get the rear tires sent off, or not sent off, but brought them down to the tire shop and got them spin balanced. Now, they actually balanced out really, really nicely. The most weight I think one took was 2 ounces, which is hardly anything at all. So we're excited about that and ready to get those back on. Now you can see over here we got the Mercedes-Benz power plant. This is the inline 6 diesel. So we had to get some measurements for an adapter we're building, and this adapter will connect the Turbo 400 transmission to the Mercedes diesel motor. Now this not only uses the Mercedes diesel flex plate, but we also have a Chevy flex plate that will all get bolted together. And then this will all come together with the Turbo 400 torque converter and transmission. Now the body section over here, let me see here. This section, our plan is to split it down the middle, and this is where that long bar or tube is going to run. And this way we can allow it to rest on it, also be able something for it to Zeus fasten to, and give the body some support when we do cut it. Now the rear fin is pretty much done. We have to still mount it to the body, but the flange and everything turned out really nice. And I'm excited to get all this put back together. My goal this weekend is to have this whole tail section finished up. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what happened to the 55 Chevy Gasser. It is still here. I still have it in the back shop over here. Now we got a lot of the stuff done, but we're still waiting on some parts. Got to get a transmission and a rear end for it. But we were able to get the ladder bars set up all done. And we're just, once we get the rear end, we'll get everything welded on and get that back over here and get working on it. I do have a car coming in tomorrow, so we'll be able to hopefully get that project in and out probably middle of this week, and then get back on the Gasser project. Well, that is about it for the weekly shop update. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I know I'll be busy at the shop working, but one more thing, I do want to give a shout out to Tyler and Bobby Hilton and the whole Hilton race car team for their win in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They run a Nostalgia Top Fuel dragster that we did the front half. Actually, we built the whole car in-house a few years back, but about a year ago, I just did a front half for them, and it was always exciting to see a Horton Race Cars and a PH Fabrication car in the winner's circle. So just, if you see them or message them, tell them congratulations, and looking forward to seeing the next race they go to. Well, that is all for today. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all soon.